Hello, you guys. Let me check. I always like to check and make sure that my mic is working. And yes, I'm hoping it's working. Everything, I have to check everything because I've done a live and the music was still on, the mic wasn't working. Yes, anyway. So, hello, it's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. How is everyone's week? I say week because I do this every week. I do a live and I do the current transit in the sky, and it's on Mondays. I'm a very mutable person. I'm very spontaneous. So this is hard for me, but I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm a grown up. Okay. Yes. So we are doing the current transits. We're going to talk about a lot today. So grab your cup of tea. I drink tea. So announcements. Let me see. Oh, I want to do a summer solstice video. I actually want to talk about all the solstice, winter, fall, summer, explain that in one video. And then what's also going to come up is everything Cancer. I am a Cancer, so I love that. Also, I already have a video up on everything Gemini. So, anything you want to know about Gemini, it is on there. You are going to learn a lot. Okay. And it's, I think, a great video. Now, I also have a podcast. This is my podcast, and this is up every weekly. I did every Sundays, but now I'm changing it to Tuesdays. It doesn't matter. It's every week. It's uploaded. Okay. Yes. And with this podcast, it's amazing because the podcast is going about what's going on currently, social events, current events, the vibe in the sky, of course, with tarot and astrology. I'm more candid and more real. You get my real opinions as if my opinions are not real, but you get the authentic self on the podcast because I am limited on what I can say, on certain platforms. And this is live, and there's certain things you can't say, but I say it all. I was uploading my podcast onto these different platforms that you see now, but that is no longer. It is just on what it's available, and I'm on where anywhere you listen to a podcast. So my podcast is available, and it is. Let me just show it to you again. Astro Tarot Insights. Okay. Yes, and I've already talked about some juicy things like Mars and Leo. And you're like, how is that juicy? Well, Canada and the fires. That was discussed in a podcast that we already had before that even happened. So if you really want to know the tea of what's going on for the collective, okay, because it's not individually, then you can find that and listen to it on my podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share. That will really help me out. This is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it for free. It is my gifting. Okay. This is what God has put me on this earth to do, and I am sharing it for free for you guys. So while it is free, okay, for you, I would love if you can help me out by sharing, liking, even commenting on what you want to hear, what you want to know, any questions. That just helps me out. Everyone knows the rules of all of these platforms. Currently, this is live and it's on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So it's all on those platforms live, but please help me out and share what I'm doing here, especially if you enjoy it. Okay, so let's talk about the June transits. Now, I do this weekly and I just break it down per week. That reminds me, let me. So I break it down per week, and now today we are going to start. I think the 11th. Yes. No. Oh, did I do the 11th? No, the 12th. We're gonna. I mean, on the 15th. Look at me. Yes. So we're gonna start on the 15th and mosey on down to the 19th. I'm pretty sure that's where I ended. And then next week we'll continue on finishing the month. Let me see. Actually, I have it here. Yes, I started on the 15th. Go ahead and screenshot it. This is for the week. This is what the vibe in the sky is for the week. Yes, the one before was the month. So that is what we have. It's going to be, I mean, the big things now is new moon in Gemini and Saturn going stations retrograde. So yeah, and that's June 17th. We'll get into the details of each of this energy as we go along. Yes, but That's it. So let's get started. Okay. So we're going to start with June 15th, and that is Mercury in Gemini, and it squares Saturn in Pisces. Now, I've talked about Saturn in Pisces either on a podcast or a separate video when Saturn enter Pisces. You guys, oh, I forgot to mention, I also have a newsletter. And so you have it already written and it's emailed to you. So go ahead and sign up for that. That it's free, of course, but I also have that in the newsletter and I discuss that energy because, this is something you want to know. But now it is squaring. So the Mercury of planet and communication and mentality and the way you think and your thinking patterns, your rationality. And it's very adaptable. And because it's in the home of Gemini, and Gemini is very busy, very mutable, busybody, multitasker, communicator, all of that is what we have in Mercury in Mercury. I was about to say Mercury in retrograde because it's such a common thing to say, but Mercury in Gemini, researching too. Now it's squaring. And what is squaring? Squaring is always like a conflict or like a tension, especially when it comes to mutable energy, because mutable is what both signs are in, Gemini and Pisces. And when it's squaring, it's usually in the same mode. And the mode that is in is mutable. So anything dealing with change is going to be huge when you have this transit. And so, but there's conflict in tension. That's basically what squaring means. And so it's squaring, yes, I was going to use the other word. It's conflicting or there's tension with Saturn. And Saturn is the planet of limitations and permanence and concentration and tenacity and ambition, productivity. It's the task master. There is caution and delay with Saturn. Responsibility, rules, and regulations. Also, Saturn is associated with karma and fear and pain, discipline, control, and denial. Okay. And it is in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is all romance and creativity and illusions and what we don't see and spirituality, intuition, and psychic ability. Very emotional because it's a water sign, and it is the key word for Pisces is I believe. I also did a video on Pisces energy just alone explaining what Pisces is. So you can go ahead and look for that somewhere in the archives. Yes, but so when you have it conflicting, so when you have Saturn in Pisces conflicting Mercury in Gemini, I would, I feel like I'm in a class. I would, I want you to say what you think that means, but I'll tell you it. What I think it means. So great work and heavy mental work and spirituality, or anything dealing with the beyond or unknown, or tangible ideas. It's great mental work for that. Could be hard to communicate because anything Pisces energy, communication is kind of lost in the sauce because Pisces is all in his head and it's in like a fantasy dreamy state. So you might have tensions communicating anything that's tangible or tangible ideas. Rulers of spirituality will conflict. Oh, because I think Saturn is like the leader and like the father. So I would think like anyone who is like authority of spirituality, there's going to be some conflict of some sort with communication or thinking somehow. Or maybe even gossip. That's more retrograde, but just something in that arena. Business transactions and negotiations, not a good time to do it with this transit because you're dealing with this Saturn in Pisces, especially. It's lost in the sauce. Right. And Saturn is all about the rules and regulations, but it's a little wonky and a little confused. And then it's squaring the thought of Mercury. So yes, I wouldn't do any transactions with this energy. May have a limited belief in yourself due to criticism because Pisces is it's an insecure energy. And so on the 15th, you may feel a little insecure about when you're criticized. Also, you may feel lonely and you may not communicate the loneliness. Recognize that this transit is making you see the dark side of life, the imperfections and the flaws, rather than the positive side. Be aware of this energy. Okay. Saturn usually makes you think you are seeing the whole truth when really you're being pessimistic. Okay, so try to be optimistic, try to see the positive side with this energy. And you may not be very practical. Okay, Saturn is about being practical when it comes to communication and thinking. Practicability may be out the door. Okay, so be aware of that. June 17th, Saturn stations retrograde in Pisces. This happens at 10:27 a.m. Saturn stations direct back out of retrograde November 4th, 2023 of this year at 0 degrees in Pisces. And that will be at 12:03 a.m. Okay, so and the energy before on the 15th, you're gonna feel that in the morning. That's at 9 a.m. So be ready for that. So this one on the 17th. Now, let me just explain. The outer planets, they always go in retrograde about like half a year, every year. They pretty much go retrograde. So this energy is something that we are comfortable in feeling. It's not like Mercury in retrograde, which is more a personal planet and you feel it stronger. So it's not like that. Okay. However, you are going to feel it. It's one of the slowest planets in the solar system, but since Saturn is a slow planet, its retrograde will not be felt immediately. So you don't have to be worried on the 17th, but you can be aware on the 17th. Okay. Saturn is the Lord of structure, discipline, authority, and karma. We discussed Saturn just a minute ago. Last time this unique planet went into retrograde in Aquarius, March 2020. Okay. But the last time that I was in retrograde in Pisces was May 1993 and April 1996. Retrograde June 23rd to November 1994. Okay. It was in Pisces May 1993 to April 1996. However, this retrograde in Pisces was from June 1994 to November 1994. Okay. I read my notes, but I'm like, let me explain what I was reading because that didn't make any sense to me. Anyway, so I looked up some brief history, and this is what I do in my podcast all the time so you can understand what we may be feeling. Okay. And I just looked up some stuff. Now, remember that because we're dealing with Saturn, it's about limits and structure, and Pisces is about spirituality. It could be about pharmaceutical. Pisces also is about photography, so movies, poetry. So you can have some music in there. I'm trying to think what else, but okay. So I'm trying not to say because my mom's like, you say too much. So anytime I say I'm like, anyway, July 6th in 1994, Forrest Gump, the movie. That's when I was released. That was a big deal. We have some big movies that comes out, but now this was in retrograde. So, but I'm gonna just explain. Oh, Dictatorship, huge with Saturn and Pisces. Very interesting. I don't know why. I'm sure if I dig deeper, I can find that out. But we had Hitler during Saturn and Pisces. So just let's see if they're going to pass, because Pisces also represents passing and the ending. So let's see if some of this dictatorship, some will be ending, their life will be ending, they'll be going to jail, whatever, whatever. But July 8th, a dictator in North Korea, Kim Sung, I think it's Tu Sung, died of a heart attack. So we might be seeing something like that. Also, there was a Rwanda genocide that ended. So we may see some endings here. Okay, we have a bomb attack, a Jewish center, killing 86 people. It's religion could be Jupiter, but also Pisces too. So just know that also acting, some actors may pass away because we are dealing with some ending. So we had Gene Kelly, he passed away July 23rd. And Billy Idol had an overdose August 5th. And that goes hand in hand. We have music, poetry, and drugs, which is very Pisces. And this is retrograde. And then you have the end. So it might be Listen, retrograde is always about reassessing and rethinking and reapplying and slowing it down. Anything in these themes. So, yes. Oh, a ferry boat. It sinks in Bangladesh, causing the deaths of 200 to 350 people. I don't know why I don't know the exact number. That was in the 90s, but that's what I have written down here. And water. Pisces is very water, and ending. Saturn is about death too. So both of them together, the end and death. Yes. Okay. So Michael Jackson and Lisa Presley, they did a big music video, or did something for MTV September 8th. Oh, the sitcom Friends started with, the similar energy. I didn't look up the aspects. Nelson Mandela, that is, I wouldn't say a dictator, but like a leader of some sort. He came and visited. He became president, and he wasn't. He didn't become president, but he visited United States. October 10th, pharmaceutical biochemist. Two of them, they won the Nobel Peace Prize for discovering some G protein. So, but this is something that's pharmaceutical. TLC came out with the song "So I Creep." Yes. Okay, so we had that. So that's music and written writing. Jeffrey Dahmer, he died. Someone clubbed him to death at the age of 34 in jail, but it was the ending of something, right? And then we have, Mary J. Blige came out with "My Life, My Life, My Life, My Life," that album. And that was just some of the things. I mean, I could keep going on and on. So what you're going to get is a lot of themes of maybe things coming out and releasing. We're dealing with the releasing. So things coming out and coming up from surface, and these things could be great, like movies and music, photography, romance is also dealing with this energy. And then you have a lot of endings with this energy, and it's going to because we had Kurt Cobain from what is Nirvana, passed away with this same time. So just be aware of that, and that's what we have. Let me see what else. Okay, it's retrograde, and let me see, in 7 degrees. 7 degrees Saturn, when it retrogrades, when it goes into retrograde, 7 degrees is the degrees of Libra. So there's something with fairness, law, partnerships, fashion, beauty, charm, luxury items, music, art, and etc. So that's what you get with 7. Now I looked in the Sabian symbols, which is different from this one because you round it up, right? And so I looked at 8 degrees, and what else you get with these degrees basically is you get, wait, did I look up the right degree? I might not didn't. I might no. I did not look it up because it's in Pisces and it says Libra. So ignore that. Maybe God only wants you to know about the Libra degree. So fairness, law. So look in those themes. See if it's related to those themes during this retrograde, how that is affecting all of us personally and within the collective. Those things dealing with fashion, beauty, charm, luxury items, law, business partners, or business. And remember, Pisces is ruled by the planet of dreams. And when it's going in retrograde with Saturn, you may give a clear structure when it comes to dreams. And Pisces is associated with spiritualism. So there may be some inner growth or some renewed ambition thanks to the reverse of this planet in the sign of Pisces. Okay. Saturn going retrograde gives us the lessons to push generally in responsibility and being accountable and conquering things, conquering our fears, and coming up with tangible results and practical and solid results. So, and we're going to get that with Pisces energy in the spiritual realm. So be aware of that. Whenever we have Saturn retrograde, it's all about speeding up the process of karma too. So it's going to pay us back, especially if we don't learn the lessons of Saturn. We will experience emotional upheavals and confusion. And it's all about reflecting, revising, and regressing, releasing, renewing. Okay, all the E's. is remembering, being reminded, okay? All of that reflecting. I said that earlier. So Saturn in Pisces is known to have a hard time to commit to a situation. The reason being is that because Pisces, like I said, is very wishy-washy and it doesn't want to have structure. It's very mutable and it's a water. It's very, you kind of think like air, but the emotions is just ever flowing. And when you have Saturn in retrograde in the sign Pisces, it wants to create structure, and especially where it lacks, and it wants to push the water sign into being like, come on, be stronger, be solid. So you're going to have that energy, and it's probably going to align with our karmic destiny. Okay, so this signifies a happy time in which we may feel like we're on the right path, especially if we decide to listen to the lessons of Saturn going retrograde. Okay, it's in the sign Pisces. Also, this Saturn in Pisces represents the Ten of Cups, and a Ten of Cups is a very positive card in tarot, and it means that you have joy and prosperity and protection, and there's family strength, our familiar strength, and abundance and emotional energy, and it aligns very positive to all things that I find very joyous, especially when it comes to emotions. So, and then there's a completion here. So, if you are following the lessons that we're going to learn while Saturn's in retrograde, goes retrograde, then you will get all of these things that I just said. Okay. Saturn is going to teach us. So you better embrace these lessons. And this transit is going to affect everyone. Be aware of that. Okay. It depends on whether individually you want to elevate your life and be responsible for your actions. If you do, you're going to come off on top. Okay. So that same day, we have Mercury in Gemini in the sixth house, Venus in Leo. That happens in the morning. So you're gonna feel this. Oops, you're gonna feel this more in the morning. I thought I definitely turned that down, so I don't know why that's loud. Mercury again is the planet of. Did we discuss Mercury? We did. It's the planet of communication and mentality and thinking patterns, right? And of course, we already discussed Gemini, which is at home in Gemini. It's the same thing, but it's very busy. Okay, so it's sextile, and sextile is very positive when it's in relationship to another planet. However, it's not effortless, so you have to do some work. It's like someone gives you an education, but what are you going to do with the education? So it's somewhat like that. Like, okay, so I can teach you how to fish, but are you really going to fish? You have to physically and mentally, you have to do some work, but the energy in the sky is having your back. Okay, God has your back with this energy. And Venus is the planet of love and romance and money, beauty and art in the sign of Leo, which is very dramatic and bold and sexy, very romantic, very confident and courageous. So when you have them working together, you have the brains working with the beauty. Okay. Get ready for that energy. You're going to come up with great ideas, especially when it comes to creating or making things beautiful. Your mind also may want to do some leisure activities, such as like going to a museum or just relaxing, maybe even going to the movies, because we have that Pisces energy that we mentioned earlier. You want to take the day off and just relax and practice that Leo energy. You want to have some fun, be romantic. Okay, you may be more in touch with your feelings, especially with those who you love, because Venus is all about, well, Mercury is about communicating. So you probably will tell someone you love them that day if you were scared to tell them. So be, especially with the boldness of the Leo. Okay, so you're going to appreciate beauty and art a lot with this energy, maybe even taking a short trip in a community in your neighborhood, because Gemini is about your community and your neighborhood and your neighbors. So there may be some local traveling and really enjoying the beauty of what your community has to offer. But I find it very interesting that you may be bold in saying I love you to someone. So that would be exciting. If you're scared to say it, watch out. You're going to say it that day. Okay. Or maybe he or she will say it to you. Mercury is also sextile Mars that same time. So not only will we be thinking quick, we'll be decisive and assertive while doing it. So we're going to be pursuing all the things beautiful, all the things that we want to pursue that we think is beautiful. So I find it to be very fun and amazing. So now we have the new moon in Gemini. It's going to be in 26 degrees at 9:37 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So every time spring ends around May, the sun and the moon will both be in a sign of Gemini, making a new moon. Because if you have the astrology chart, they are next to each other. It's so interesting. My choice of clothes, I apologize. Now I realize, like, like it's very sunny out. It's not very sunny in LA, and the Venus and Leo just wanted to, do a little extra. So anyway, whenever we have a new moon, it's a time that we say goodbye to one cycle and hello to a next. New moon is when the moon and the sun meet in the same degree. Like I said earlier, they both will be in 26 degrees. New moons are a time for manifestation and newness. The new moon marks the beginning of a lunar cycle. The new moon is a moment for blank slates and big dreams. New moon offers a chance for a symbolic start over, a time when your mind and body are charged for the month ahead, because the sun is representing the body and the moon, the emotions. Okay. Your feelings at this time may be very strongly influenced by the larger emotional patterns that dominate your life. You may have a burst of physical energy because you're going to feel your emotions will be very positive, and then you're talking about your physical body of the sun, so it's going to be aligned with each other because your emotions and your body are working together. Okay. And relationships with the opposite sex, very positive, because the sun represents masculine energy and the moon represents feminine energy. Also, if you're dealing with your father or your mom, same difference. Okay. It's going to be very positive, especially because we also have that Venus and Mars conjunct, right? You know how they used to say men are for Mars, women are for Venus. So that masculine and feminine energy, which we all have within us, is going to be working together too. So it's all very positive with that new moon. Group efforts are very favorable. So, like if you have a conference or planning a group meeting, great time to have it with this new moon. Take extra precautions and especially avoid surgery, though. Especially any part of your body that's ruled by the sun. For example, if you're a Pisces sun, don't get surgery on your feet. Okay. So, and you can Google your sun sign and what body parts they rule, because I'm not going over all the 12, but that is basically what it's saying. Now, rituals that you can do anytime there's a new moon. You can set intentions, write in a journal with setting your intentions, say them out loud, pray them, meditate on, say, write them down, like writing in a journal. Clean your home, get organized, state affirmations, visualizations. You could do like a mood board, a moon bath, a new moon bath, and you can put salt, dried flowers, essential oils, light a candle all in your bath. I'm going to put that more on my Instagram and throw that up real quick, especially things for Gemini. When I went over my Gemini video, it talked about all that actually. So you can just look at that video. It talked about everything Gemini. And so you can throw those essential oils in your bath, in your diffuser, all that when having this new moon. Even the colors I discussed with Gemini, which is multicolored. Okay. And the stones I discussed in that video. So any kind of salt that you're interested in. But yes. Yes. Okay. So then this new moon is in the 26 degrees, and that is a Taurus degree. So the new moon may manifest us with money, food, resources, our body, the earth, stability, luxuries, voices, because Taurus is about voices and singing. So try to manifest anything in that department. Now, it depends on where the new moon is in your chart. So, and I'm not doing horoscopes today. I apologize. I normally do horoscopes, but I felt like the video will be a little bit too long. So, I'm just going to tell you, you can manifest if there's something in your home and we're dealing with this degrees, you can manifest buying a new home. Okay. If it is dealing with your body, which is the first house, manifesting something positive with your body, that's very Taurus. If it is something with the fourth house is money. I'm just trying to go over I'm trying to think in your reputation, the ninth house, right? So if it's representing that, it could be in stability. You want to have stability in your reputation and having a positive reputation. Okay. So I'm just trying to have you explain the 12th house is endings. So maybe find stability with endings, something like that. Okay. All right. So third house, I would definitely for the voice if I was a singer. So also too, I looked up 26, 27 degrees in Gemini and the Sabian symbols, and it's a gypsy coming out of the forest. And the key word is expenditure. Okay. And the theme is in search of success. Of an individual who first realize that they are confident and there's an eagerness to be successful, and you picture the gypsy coming out of the forest, and there's an emergence of selfhood and a certain childlike but optimistic readiness for the new experience and adventure. It almost makes me think of the Fool's card in tarot. So someone who's starting a journey, they're very excited, a little bit naive, but very optimistic about the whole thing. There's curiosity and enthusiasm with this energy. Also, you want to guard yourself for against trying to be too self-sufficient, because maybe you're so optimistic that you think you may not need anyone. So be aware with that new moon, because this is the beginning of the cycle. Okay. So you got some time with all the 8 stages of the moon. So be aware of that. Now, exactly when you have the new moon in Gemini, it wants us to plant a certain seed, and that seed is usually in thought, in an idea. So make sure you have that seed and plant that. You may feel that your mind is wandering in many directions. This season can bring us information from various directions. Not only is our mind doing the most, but then wait a minute, we're getting this, and I already kind of feel this already because of Gemini season. Notice if you feel a little nervous or anxious, because Gemini energy is like that, because they're just moving too much. This season is, oh wait, Gemini likes to be very rational, so this energy can make us think, and in that thinking we avoid feeling. So really be aware of still using your intuition and balancing that energy. And Geminis can feel a little restless. If you're ever around Gemini, especially one who is strong in their energy, they don't want to sit still. They're moving around. They're just doing the most. Okay. Almost like ADHD, kind of ADHD. ADHD. I was thinking like HD, but yes, energy. So just calm the mind, do a little meditation. Gemini energy cannot, but you want to practice balance with each energy. So next we have June 18th, which is also Father's Day. And I was thinking, like, why is Father's Day during Gemini season? If you guys know the answer to that, please let me know, because I can't comprehend it. I'm thinking because they're twins and Gemini did have two different fathers. It's also towards the end of Gemini season. So I'm thinking it's really like on the cusp of Cancer, and you have this air sign, which is more masculine. You also have the duality of Gemini, because Gemini is very, it could be masculine or feminine, and it's the messengers between each world. So it makes me think, because the father is usually very masculine, and on Father's Day, now we are honoring you, and you have to almost be in the feminine aspect. So that's me just going a little deep unnecessarily, because I know why we have gay pride. Is it called gay pride? I think so. During Gemini season, because we're dealing with multiple, first of all, multicolored, so the rainbow. There's just so many reasons why I know gay pride is celebrated during Gemini season. But Father's Day, I was a little confused, but whatever, it is what it is. So the sun is in Gemini on Father's Day. of course, and it's going to square Neptune in Pisces. This is going to be at night. So Father's Day will be the energy you're already feeling. Nothing new is going to pop up. But at night, around 9 p.m., you're going to start feeling this energy. And remember, the sun is all about yourself and your ego and one's way of being in the world, the higher self, right? And Gemini, again, it's very communicative and it's very fast and it likes to do multiple things at once. Very progressive and researching kind of energy. Squaring, very conflict, tension. Okay, no bueno. There's going to be some lessons here. And it's whenever it's squaring, it's always squaring in the same mode. Pisces is mutable. So there's going to be some conflict with change here, and especially in spirituality. Pisces is at home in Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So romantic, creativity, illusions, insecure, the unknown, psychic, intuition, emotional, all that, spirituality, compassion, dreams, delusion, all that you have when you have Neptune in Pisces. But now it's conflicting the sun, the ego. Okay. So, what does that mean for the collective? And this is on Father's Day at night. Okay. So, you're going to wake up and really feel it mostly, unless you stay up later. But you're going to mostly feel it the next day. So, your higher self may be in conflict with your intuition or your psychic self. Your energy level may be lower than usual, and you may feel tired. And maybe the natural, regular demands, you're not into them. Sometimes your feelings, you're going to feel inadequate because Pisces energy is very insecure. Naturally, it lacks confidence. So, especially when it comes to direct confrontations with people, you may feel inadequate. You may not be clear headed because Pisces brings the fog. Because Pisces wants to be all in his head and in a dreamy state and in a fantasy state. So, you have that illusion. Also, you may come off. You may not be able to convince anyone when you're trying to be deceitful. So, if you're into not telling the truth, just let it go that day. It could be possible that you'll stimulate your innate idealism, which is by no means bad, but could produce some very beautiful moments in your life that day on Father's Day, the next day. And you may want to reach for unreasonable goals. So be aware of that because it's not very tangible. A great day for tarot reading. Anytime you're dealing with Pisces and Neptune, Neptune, Pisces, and Pisces energy, it's always great to go into spiritual work. So, meditation, praying, okay, candle magic, okay, tarot reading, whatever you deem as your spirituality, it is great. If you want to read the Bible, read the Bible. If you want to talk in tongues, that is great whenever you're dealing with Pisces inner transits, okay? So June 19th, which is also Juneteenth, I'm not going to tell you what Juneteenth is. If you don't know what that is, you better Google it. Okay. I love Juneteenth because it does now make me think of summer solstice and also the beginning, starting of Cancer season, which I am a Cancer sun. So I love Juneteenth, one of my favorite holidays. And now we have it Jupiter in Taurus, and it's going to sextile Saturn, which is going to be retrograde in Pisces. So sextile is very positive, like I said earlier. And remember, when the planets are sextile, it's God and the universe. It's like, we have your back today. Okay. We are encouraging you to work with this energy, but you have to actually do the work. Now, Jupiter in Taurus, which I think I did a video on Jupiter in Taurus. So go ahead and look at that video. Now, and I think I did a podcast too. So you can choose between the two. It's very expansive and optimistic. And then we're dealing with resources. Taurus is about resources, the body, okay, and your home. So very positive, and there's abundance, and it's working with Saturn. And Saturn is in retrograde, and Saturn is like, wait, we need to reflect and think about the limitations of what we believe, or the limitations and how we limit ourselves with our insecurities, because we're dealing with Pisces. So you're going to get very positive energy with this. So you won't feel restricted with going to work or anything dealing with restrictions or anyone dealing with rules. You're actually going to find a benefit in restrictions and rules with this energy. Any what else do we have? You can you're going to work really well with supervisors or father figures, because remember, Saturn, if you didn't know, is dealing with father figures and also people in uniform, okay, and the government. So you're going to find benefit with working with that. You do not see duties or obligations as limitations upon your life. Your approach for growth from a very careful and pragmatic, because it's Saturn point of view, everything you do, everything you make, and you're going to be very caution. You're going to proceed with caution, but it's very positive energy. You're interested in what could be, but this concern as well balances by your concern of what is already is. Okay. In financial terms, you are very thrifty at this time, because Jupiter is all about, like, we got it all. We're so optimistic. Come on, we can do. But Saturn's like, whoa, 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 slow it down. You better limit that. So you will have the awareness of, like, let's not spend, let's not overspend our resources. Let's use our intuition to not spend, or use our intuition on what we can save money on. Intuition, because of Pisces. During this period, you will discover how to turn your ideas into reality. In business, this is usually a good time because you are prudent and thrift, and enable you to separate real opportunity from illusion. Very amazing power, energy, and that is in the morning of Juneteenth. Okay, so that is what we have. I'm going to do some tarot and pull some oracle cards. This is for the collective. This is not for the individual, but we need to think in more of a collective way. Okay, so let me pull up some. Should I do oracle first? No, we'll do tarot and oracle. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed and understood everything. Let's see what we have. Ooh, we have the Temperance. This is very Jupiter already. This is Sagittarius, and it's all about balance and harmony, and everything in moderation. Okay. So usually they're pouring cup in, like, inside of the other. So have everything in moderation, balance, and there's healing. Let's see what else we have. We have the 10 of wands. Now, remember, we talked about Leo, and the wands is a fire energy. So there's passion, and there's creativity, and there's courageousness, but this could maybe weigh you down. Also, there's burdens here with that energy. Also, there is a burden, but it's going to start a new journey, which we also have that new moon. So you may have some burdens when it comes to something that's dealing with Leo energy, something that's dealing with fire sign energy. You could be a fire sign, but the 10 is representing the end of a journey, end of a, yeah, I'll say journey, end of a journey, and the starting of a new one. So you have that. Let me pull another card for all of us. Yes, I said us. Ooh, so you have the end and the beginning of a new one. God is giving us new thoughts, and when it comes to creativity, new passions, new creative ideas, new boldness and courageousness, and new confidence in things. So that is what we have. Let me pull the oracle. So we have everything in moderation, okay, and balance things. And then we have the burdens of, you're carrying a load, and it could be something dealing with creativity, and your passions are overconfident, right? And then God, but that's the end of the journey. And maybe with this new moon, you're going to set some new intentions, and it's going to bring you new creativity. Okay. Okay, this card fell out, and it is a 9. It's 54, and it says fighting spirit. So everyone needs to keep a fighting spirit. It's very Leo energy, because you're very courageous, and you're going to also use this Taurus energy, and you're going to stay in it for the long haul. You're going to persevere. It's also the end of something too. So whatever you're trying to fight, you know that it is the end of the journey. And then, ooh, leap of faith, very optimistic. Trust God, trust the universe, have a leap of faith no matter what you do. Oops, sorry. Okay, and we have 3. So this is all about expansion. So have a leap of faith if you are going to start something and expand something. Let me just pull one more oracle card. I'm trying not to say. And we have jar of dreams. This is a 5. So this is a a change. Okay. There's going to be a change, and you have your dreams and you're just holding it in the jar and you want to release them. So I would really think this is dealing with that new moon energy. You want to release it, whatever you're dreaming, whatever you're wishing to achieve. Go ahead and release it with this new moon. Set some new intentions and say you're going to really, really do it. Okay. Do not have fear. Do not just hold your dreams in a jar. God did not create you to hold these dreams in a jar. Release the dreams and go ahead and achieve your goals. This is very positive reading. Nothing is in reverse, nothing is very negative. Everything seems like if it is negative, it's going to start new and you're going to start a new journey. So it's very positive. Be ready for this cleanse. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed. And that is it. I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye.